All right. So our game is called Ritmo, and it's kind of a mix between Super Mario Bros. And Rock Band, where you play cooperatively. You play a song cooperatively, and you're all like little characters in a platformer.
Okay, that was terrible.
They didn't tell me I was talking until just barely.
You want to try it again, or do you guys want to work?
No, try it again. Come on.
Okay, so our game is a mix between Super Mario Bros. And Rock Band, where you can play with up to 4 people and cooperatively play a song.
Enemies overcome obstacles and do other video game things.
You know what? You know what's really good when you're describing a game really fast, dude? It's really fast if you try to tell people what kind of what your parameter is, like what you're trying to emote, or what you're trying to accomplish, or what kind of experience. Like, we want to make a game where this player feels this and this. To do this, we came up with this idea of Mario Brothers being able to do this. That kind of game where you're trying to describe the problem you're trying to solve, or the experience you're trying to create, or the feeling you're trying to create before you actually describe the game. Sets people up really well to understand what you did and why you did it, and if you did it well or not. And so try to set it up. So we were trying to create an experience where people feel this, this, this. And to do that, we kind of had this experience of Mario Brothers means blue, whatever. Set them up that you're trying to emote or solve or do, and then describe the game.
Can I ask a question on that?
Yeah.
Is that when you are showing them, like you actively have their attention, or in terms of like elevator pitch? Like if I just went up to you cold and I said, I wanted to make a game that you know combined jumping with punching people in the face, so I set out to do this, you're gone.
I don't understand what you're telling me at all.
Exactly, it just lost you.
Yeah. No, but if you describe the mechanics in a vacuum, I don't know why, I don't know how to judge what you did or if you did well. So it's really fascinating. We want to make this kind of game, so we took this element from this and this, and they inspired us to do this.
Okay. So are you guys thinking about this as like a cards game? Is that kind of how you got to is that where it's gotten?
Yeah, it's a cooperative. It's a local multiplayer. So it's a party game.
Yeah, couch co-op.
No way!
Okay, cool. So
prior to this, you pick which song you're going to do?
Yeah, so first you pick which song, then all the players go in. It's going to break for that. So if you pick the song you want to play, and then everyone joins the game and you pick which run they want to play. The run's based on the color of your character, and they also coincide with like the instrument that's playing. So. Okay, so they'll count you off. There's the shader. You all are starting in the same position, and our levels kind of are designed to split people up really quickly. Except for that one. If you don't, so you guys are not good at this one. This is the hardest. So yeah, the players end up getting split into like their respective tracks, even though they still will run into each other once in a while. It doesn't really affect anything. When you die, you become a little ghost. It's really hard to see, but the yellow player was at the top of the screen. And so you can jump back into the game. And then if all the players die, they restart at the checkpoint, which are those giant swirly things that float you. Like this thing right here is the next checkpoint that you run into. So there's like bounce pads to bounce you in the air to hit up things up there. We have spinning notes, so I don't think there's any spinning notes in this level. And you have to spin to activate a spinning note. Yeah, and this level's really hard, so they're going to die a lot. They're good for you, though. So, yeah, that's the basics of our game. Is that the end of the level? Boom.
So are you?
Rainbow! Are you guys, when you're playing, are you aware of the music?
Yeah.
Are you? For sure. Because I mean, as someone watching it, I can hear you creating music as you're going along. I mean, I can hear it.
When I die, I know I can hear my part going out, but I haven't played it a while. Yeah, we know the songs pretty well. We play these things. So you can clearly hear like when you die, your instrument cut out, or when you like start missing the notes, you'll be able to hear.
Have you gotten to the point where you're listening to music and you're yelling at one of the other players because they're screwing up and it's screwing up the song?
We were trying to be polite when we were in front of everyone. But yeah, that does happen because I really like the songs there. We made all the songs ourselves, and so we kind of have a personal attachment to them. But we do yell at each other sometimes when they mess up, especially when they die, turn into a ghost, and then instead of trying to play their own song, just jump onto yours and just goof around and get in your way. So.
Okay, so I have some suggestions.
Okay.
So I think I have an idea on where to go to help you with the pitch. So I'm going to assume you guys are aware of the Impossible game.
Yes.
Correct? Which is a music platformer that's hard as hell, right? That
Yes.
people play. So this is literally, I mean, the pitch is as easy as, you know, the impossible, 4-player impossible game, co-op, right? That's literally what the game is, right? It's super easy. Anyone in the scene is going to know what the impossible game is. It's still probably the #1 music game on mobile, right? Everybody's aware of it. The art style, yeah, this is a lot cooler looking, but literally the spikes and everything sings. It's the impossible game for 4 players, right? So I think that somewhere along those lines, you know, party version of the impossible game, whatever. Think something really smart that, you know, easy for people to understand. Gameplay wise, like I think it looks pretty fun. It looks like, so I'm noticing everybody has an individual score.
Yeah.
So why isn't it? Is there a cooperative score? Like it's co-op or is it competitive co-op? What is it?
We were kind of talking about that just before we came up here. We're kind of thinking about maybe making the scores
Yeah. So the
cooperative.
thing, yeah.
The percentages.
Yeah. I have no interest. I'm here to play with my friends and enjoy couch co-op, not get mad at them.
Right.
I don't understand why I don't have one head score together and it's just all coming. It's going to be bigger, more exciting. It's not people. You want probably more high fives than people punching each other in the second game, right?
Exactly right.
And so the thing is I think it's pretty. So there's a lot of cool stuff now from here for levels, right? So I like the part where you guys go in your individual tracks and it's like we're hitting all the same stuff. But how come there's not another part where I have to cross? You talked about that cross, and I wanted to see where now I need to cross paths because then it gets chaotic. And then there's a part where it becomes pretty difficult. Like maybe that'd be annoying if 3 of us or 4 of us all had to be on top of each other. Because now it's kind of hard to see, right? But maybe that moment is that kind of cool part where you have to grow the path and 2 of us stay up top and then 2 of us at bottom. And then we cross path again and then we have some pitch match. It's kind of hard to see where it's where. And maybe we get to the point where all 4 of us are on top of each other on the same path and we have to stay in sync and that keeps a huge multiplier. Right? It's all 4 of us doing it together, and we get in that rhythm, and then we split off. I think there's a real opportunity for splitting off, we're on our own thing, now we're in sync, we're doing it, we're all. And then can you keep track? It's like the game, right? Can you keep track of where you are, or do you lose track? So you can use those.
Do you tend to keep like a particular instrument all on one level, or you really do think about crossing?
Well, it depends on the design. One of our levels has a lot of, Donald's level has a lot of staying on the same path. And the first one that we played, there's a lot of just very quick moving in and out of every other.
Yeah, and then it's split out really far. I think you just played with that. I had no ties to, you know, the blue characters, the high notes, the black characters, the low notes,
Yeah,
and so
that
and so.
doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I don't think that matters. I think that's overthinking it. It's just about having fun. It looks like it's killer fun in the ending inside and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, fundamentally with your game, you have a cooperation game where people are going to feel awesome when they have chemistry together and they're really good at it together. Introduce individual scores can do nothing but
Take away that.
take away the division of the rank, put a division of the ranks. You don't want to do that. But if you can introduce elements where not only are you have chemistry together because you're all really good at this game, but if you can somehow make them dependent on each other a little bit more, other than three disparate kind of games where they'll be good at it. Now you can make them depend on each other for something that will be design. That would be awesome. Like that. And all the things of playing off, throwing things at the idea of together we're good at this, and this idea of what people who have chemistry would be in each other's heads, be able to anticipate each other's moves, what would they know how to do, rather than people that came to a goal and that know each other. So that's those sort of notions. You have to really cool elements.
I mean, you could feature creep on you guys real quick, right? So I mean, you could have things like something as simple as like you go in that cross pattern. Because right now it's 4 people playing an individual game. It's literally 4 players split screen. Let's be honest right now. It's not a co-op game. It's 4 players split screen. And you just have like a simple mechanic of where in a little bit level design, but a simple little tweak where our paths across, and maybe for an instant we need to stick together. In the time that we stick together, maybe that's what charges the multiplier because we're on the same line together. So it's like, okay, during this time we all can gleam together, we get a power up of some kind, and then we split off and we go back together or something. It's something, that whole idea around the game that brings us together instead of separating, it's a good one. But right now it's split screen multiplayer, right?
Brandy, then,
I like what you changed the platforms to. It looks really good. It's not too bright or anything. It looks really, really good. I really like how it stands out now. It really works well with your characters and the notes and all that. It's not too bright. It looks really good.
I apologize if you hit on this, but are they score multipliers, those bars on the bottom? Or what's on the bottom?
Yeah. Those are multipliers, individual multipliers. So
Okay.
the more notes you hit, the more points you'll get for
Okay.
in a row.
And the score is different than the percentage completed, or?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So, a couple of things. One, have you guys thought about, I noticed that it happened to one of you guys when you like respawn, you immediately died. Have you thought about having like maybe a metronome click you in before you respawn, like, just 4 clicks and then you know?
Yeah, when everyone dies, there's going to be a count-in, so that you don't just come back and it just drops you in.
Yeah, because I noticed like going ghost is nice because then you still feel like you're going and stuff, but I think that when whoever respawns, like immediately was dead again. So
Right.
and we're gonna visually show the player how, like, when they can actually respond. Right now, we're just kind of guessing when you're
Right.
actually responding.
Okay.
It's just not there yet.
yeah, and then the only other thing that I would say, it was kind of weird to me sometimes, like when I was trying to follow one guy, but the green and the yellow are like, and maybe it's just that my eyes are not as good as they used to be, but they're kind of similar to me. Where a few times if I was following green, I think I would have ducked down and followed yellow because the colors are kind of similar. I don't know, at least to me it was. That's it.
Are you guys gonna have a background that's more than just black?
Yep. We're working on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
What are your plans to introduce, like, basic mechanics of movement that you have? You have like a tutorial level?
Yeah, we want to have like a really short little tutorial thing where you just you have to slide to go to things by hitting this button, and you have to spin his fingers by hitting this button. It's like really short, so that way you can jump in and play.
And there's levels that will be really easier than other ones. There's like on the level select screen, there's like a star rating. Yeah, so like
Are you guys also working on the camera angle, or are you just that would be my only major complaint is that it's still just really hard to tell the characters apart when we're together and see them all online.
If Roger would ever come to class, he could tell you that he had an idea about this, about how you guys can offset it just a little bit. But I don't remember exactly how. He had some justification that he would do where it would still make sense in the game to actually make them just a little bit behind each other and it still work. So on Thursday, just ask him about that. Okay, thank you. Okay, Swarmy.
The big problem is when he's not here in class.
Yeah.